The targeted Cassiopeia ban against Quad as well again. Interesting, 100 Thieves also ban out the Poppy here very early on. So they're banning a couple of these counter-engaged champions. Makes me think 100 Thieves are going to go for some sort of dive or hard engage, type of composition for themselves. Not really a surprise with the way that they like to play the game, but Nafiri is a good place to start. Grab that for River as quickly as possible. He's been so good on it. It gives you a lot of outplay potential. And
remember, in game number 1, Nafiri was one of the bans here in this first phase for FlyQuest alongside the Vi and the Varus. They gave it up this time to ban the Yone away, kind of respecting that there on the side of Quid. But the Rumble, the Cassiopeia, the Poppy, like you already said, those are going to remain banned. First pick of the draft for FlyQuest is Viktor.
Wow, right out the gate, they don't feel too scared about the counter picks from Quid. I want to see if Quid can actually punish this. Go something nice and aggressive here in mid lane, because presumably you're also going to have Eyla on an engaged support since they've got Nafiri carry jungle. So should be some extra playmaking there. Sejuani will complement the Viktor. Interesting, because Sejuani just leverages more threat for Bwipo's pick later down the line as well. But going over some hovers here on the side of 100 Thieves that are a little spicy.
Yeah, Kassadin's one of those ones that is like a solo queue counter to Viktor if you're confident in your Kassadin play. Like traditionally, a lot of times Viktor's weakness early allows Kassadin to scale up, but it's also a professional play bait more often than not. They will almost never lock it in, so not really surprised to see them switch off of that. Quick reminder, heads up to everybody out there, this is still Fearless Draft, but Fearless bans aren't updating on our graphic right now. Production is working on a fix for those, but just to remind you all, the champions that cannot be played because of last game: Jace, Gragas, Pantheon, Xin Zhao, Taliyah, Azir, Kalista, Corki, Nautilus, and Alistar. So all of those bans are still in effect thanks to the Fearless system. You just don't see the neat little graphic on the screen right now showing them off, as Miss Fortune is locked in on the side of 100 Thieves. And I'm not gonna lie, Kobe, this one's got me a little bit concerned right now, because there's almost no setup to lock somebody down inside the MF ulti on the rest of the squad so far.
But I would say it's guaranteed Ayla's going to play like a Nautilus or Leona or something like that. And so
we can't play Nautilus.
I can't play Nautilus. Nautilus is on the list from last game as well. So yeah, Rel or Leona.
Okay.
Then. Okay. One of those types of champions, but should still be whatever it is. It's going to be a strong lane phase. Miss Fortune does have a very powerful lane phase here, and since Varus is still banned, plus the Kalista and the Corki from last time around, should have some strong priority there.
And when you look at FlyQuest draft, I'm a little bit surprised, but also not, to see the Renekton locked in so quickly. They're on red side again. Normally, they like to leverage that 5th pick for Bwipo, but it goes back to what you said. Inspired locking Sejuani is saying, all right, I want to play for Bwipo. I want to empower this top lane pick. And Renekton and Sejuani work notoriously well together.
They certainly do. Powerful duo there. Wanted to grab it very early on. All right, I mean, but it does mean that you drop your AD carry pool that much further. An AD carry pool that was already a little bit in the hole and is going to have to play into a Miss Fortune. So 100 Thieves is like, okay, great, we're going to push you even further down. It's notorious, too, because whenever you talk to AD carry players about Fearless in general, they are of the opinion that their champions drop off quicker than other roles do. I don't know if this is just like normal AD carry players are always like whiny babies, but they seem to be of the opinion that AD carry champions have an S tier and then drop very, very, very quickly. So whenever I see,
there's
AD
S and there's F.
Yeah, whenever I see it, we get pushed pretty far down like this, you have to think, oh, okay, well, does this actually get that much harder for Massu to play? Because the Ezreal also taken off, and then some of the lane power there of Nico, which has become a very popular support, also taken away.
Okay, so no Ezreal, Nico, Rel, or Gwen. So one of those big engage AoE supports that you named that is a good Miss Fortune buddy is removed from the pool here by FlyQuest. We'll see what they want to take into the Miss Fortune down here for the 2v2. We really just have to see the bottom lane duo for FlyQuest. Nothing else in the draft has a whole lot of flex potential really at all, unless they're going to do something wacky and put Viktor bot, but I feel like at this point in the metagame in pro play, we're just not going to see that. So Rakan locked in. That'll be another big engage denial support.
Ooh, interesting here. Some swap around from 100 Thieves, but I did promise you a hard engaged Leona or Rel or something like that.
Yeah, I better see it.
I'm getting a little nervous about that promise. They first over there, the Karma and the Soda, and now we got
what about this guy?
Bard.
Now, I mean, he can lock down a bunch of people at once, but the problem is the bullet time can't hurt him.
Sniper's got some hard CC for us, surely then. Okay, there you go. Gnar, pretty generalist, nice team fighter. Also, good pick there into Renekton. So there you go. Sniper rounds it out for the Thieves. Plus, the really big thing for Bard, I always love Bard when you have split pushing solo lanes. And this is something that I was really hoping for in Super Week when we saw Lion pick the Ryze and the Bard together. This pairing is just so good in mid and late game at creating so much darkness on the map for the enemy team and putting side lane pressure out.
Yeah.
So I want to see if 100 Thieves can really execute this, because Miss Fortune is an amazing AD carry to rotate into mid lane very early on. Get your BT, control mid lane, and then you have your Gnar and your Ryze split pushing and opening up a lot of space. And Bard is one of the best supports at going and getting vision for split pushers, and then putting threat on those lanes with Bard ultimates, you know, blowing people's flashes and stuff, because you can throw it from so far away. And Bard is so quick at roaming around the map, and it is very hard to pick off a Bard when they're going to place their vision, since they have the magical journey to get away. So in theory, this is a very good, you know, split push comp from 100 Thieves with the Ryze and the Bard synergy. Miss Fortune can hold mid very easily while the, you know, side lanes push out there and they try and get vision control. But FlyQuest have been so solid, and they do have a very good comp set up to go force at objectives, and, you know, try and stack objectives there and force you to try and come to them.
Non-subscribers, we'll see you back here in 30 seconds. But for everybody else, yeah, I think, Kobe, when you're looking at FlyQuest team comp, it looks like just textbook League of Legends 101 competitive team composition. Renekton in top lane, control mage with wave clear in the mid lane, a strong scaling crit marksman with a good engaged support bottom, and a jungler that can facilitate in front line, right?
They're saying, come fight me, fair fight. 5-on-5 in my face, okay?
Yep, exactly.
Don't go running around the map.
They don't want this scrappy street fight stuff. They want to square off in the ring, the gloves, the bell, everything.
Get back here. Let's get down in the dirt. You, me, we'll hash it out. Solve our problems with our fists.
And last game, it was 100 Thieves, remember, that were off to a good early lead because they were hands-diffing their opponents, right? They were finding the good combos here in these early scraps. They were managing to get ahead and build a lead, but then as things went on, it's FlyQuest who stepped up. They played the big fights better, and they played them better at moments where they were able to get bigger rewards. And so this time around, I want to see that same early game power from 100 Thieves, but I think for what 100 Thieves have been wanting for a long time, they're going to want again, which is make sure you can keep that momentum going through the mid game.
Yeah, and it's going to look like very different momentum this time around, because, you know, like you're saying, last game 100 Thieves, you know, they wanted to snowball on these fights, and FlyQuest just outfought them. This time, if they have a good early game, they want to play the side lanes and look for picks and get some really good split pushing going, and really utilize this this Bard, but we have to get there first. And FlyQuest, they have a very solid setup. Of course, the Sejuani is starting bottom side and pathing up to the Renekton as well. So that is a very fearsome 2 versus 2 if you do end up there.
Okay, also want to keep an eye on the jungle in this one because of the fact that we have been talking about this jungle matchup a lot. I think both of these junglers have had really, really good performances plenty of times in recent memory. And last game, I think River had a much better early game in the jungle than what Inspired did. River seemed to be very impactful early on with the Pantheon, had a lot of that early money, kept that momentum going until everything just kind of fell apart in the team fights. This time around on the Nafiri, this champ is strong, even despite the nerfs that it has experienced, and it definitely seems like one of the few that you can really carry from in the jungle.
Fun fact, there's already nerfs on the PBE for next patch too, so I'm excited about that.
The dog is too pog.
The dog is too pog. It's always better when it rhymes, Flowers.
Yeah, I know. It really just makes it flow.
Yeah,
nice. It makes it flow.
Gwen is also getting some, so I'm super happy about that. Anyways, back to this one though. We are going to have the Nafiri making an early move, Flowers, going for one of these invades that have become so common. You know, you do 3 camps off your red side, come over here with your red buff, and try and fight. But Inspired, Inspired is doing the more power clear oriented clear, where you do your small camps, you save your red for last. And so River got into that brush to see him go to Krugs and takes the time to simultaneously do the red buff while Inspired does the Krugs. And there will be a surprise doggy here. And surprise also, no red. So Inspired will see that. And now your hands go up in the air and you say, well, I guess I've got to wait for a Scuttle Crab.
Yep. And I like the fact that River decided not to try to hang around and scrap with the Sejuani. Even though you would win that in a 1 versus 1, the total top lane priority that Bwipo has right now, he had the wave completely shoved up underneath Sniper's turret. It would have been so easy for Bwipo to come over and turn that into a 2v1 for a solid 5 seconds before Sniper would be able to follow. So River wanting nothing to do with that, just taking the econ lead that he bought for himself, heading back into his own top side of the jungle. But Inspire got the first Scuttle Crab, and now he's going to say, all right, fine, you took my red, whatever. GG, well played. I'm just going to take both crabs, because then when you look down at the bottom lane, it's FlyQuest who have the priority there. So with Xayah and Rakan holding that lane, making it so nobody from 100 Thieves can come and contest, when you know River is in his topside jungle, double crab for free.
Yeah, it's good to have that as like your reaction plan, but the first crabs still are not that big, so still like it a little bit here for River. Even though Inspired also is going to reset here and like have a couple seconds ahead of time, I think just go right into your second clear, back off. So yeah, not too big of a difference early on. We'll see. Did result in a first Giants belt here for Inspired. So maybe if they do get into that brawl, it's going to have some sort of impact. But Bwipo continues to go for these trades on this.
Oh, whoa. That was, okay, I'll call it calculated and give Sniper the benefit of the doubt, but that was way too close to just getting comboed down before we could transform.
Depress the attack damage there. I was like, I was pretty calm, as we're like leading into it. I was like, okay, he's going for a trade. I was like, whoa, that was a very big trade with the transformation saving him, but now they're going to welcome him back.
This is absolutely disastrous for 100 Thieves. It's first blood over to FlyQuest, and it's on Sniper's Gnar that just teleported back. This is a massive loss for the 100 Thieves top laner.
Wow, that is insane stuff from Bwipo and FlyQuest. Wait.
Oh. Busio needs to get the hell out of town now. And looks like the heal will be enough to give him the move speed to escape.
Luckily he is Rakan, but still has to blow both summoner spells there, so decent amount gained from the rotation over from 100 Thieves. Still though, it was so cool for 100 Thieves there. Calling their reset for bottom lane to reset, starts walking over, and Bwipo says, hey man, yeah, I'm just going to go forward for the chunk. We've got the pushing wave here. I'm going to force him to teleport back and still stick around and go for the dive and welcome him back on arrival for that first kill. Is going to be substantial because Sniper loses the teleport. Not only did he die, loses the teleport, loses the big minion wave. So huge CS advantage for Bwipo there off the back of it, plus the extra kill going into Massu's hands. The Xayah here, FlyQuest are just it was kind of dream state for them. Bwipo though is sticking around on the top side of the map for the grub pack. So he's actually giving Sniper free push now in bottom lane. We'll see how well Sniper's going to do in pushing that up to the next one. But rotation back for Massu and Busio as they walk on forward, and we'll have Viktor try and clear up that wave.
We'll push this, and then I think
they're going to go for dive top. I think I might be dead here.
I can move after this.
I can't do much about that.
Top. Yeah.
Oh, Renekton has CP. He'll just CP.
He called it.
Yep. Did call it. I might be dead here. I am dead here. So, I mean, just good macro after two from FlyQuest with the rotations. Like we talked about. Bwipo stays on the top side for the grubs. Then they start rotating quad down to the bottom lane where Sniper's pushing up. He catches that. Massu and Busio stop off in mid lane. It's just these nice little ones where you just take the shortest journey to the next wave, and they kind of like move the pieces around so they don't lose out on any extra minions. Very nicely done for FlyQuest. Not only like starting that lead, but then keeping it.
Yeah, and hey, look, it's Busio and Massu up here on the top side. Again, looking to cause some trouble, but Eyla is ready to provide some peel for Sniper. They stunned Bwipo up against the wall. He used the early dominance to put the pressure on the 100 Thieves top laner, but now he's forced to retreat all the way back. Is going to take one turret shot. The slice will guarantee the second cannot fire off in time, but a nice defense from 100 Thieves this time to prevent Sniper from falling further behind.
Yep, and he definitely does need that help.
Yeah, down a full level at this point.
Meanwhile, the 100 Thieves feels like they're always playing catch-up. You see these rotations, they're constantly moving but not getting much. And FlyQuest, macro kind of running the early game here. Really good calls so far. And if this team gets the early lead, it is so much easier of a game plan. You know, like you're saying, that from Champ Select, bro, like you have mega engage.
Square up and fight.
You have mega engage, you have a very, very good team fight, and the game just feeds you objectives right now with the way that it's set up. So it's very easy to just on spawn, go to the next one, go to the next one, line them up, look for your Rakan Sejuani engages, you know, scale up your Viktor, your Xayah. So FlyQuest here have a road that looks pretty smooth towards the mid game, but 100 Thieves can do see what they can do to try and upset that road.
Once again, it's FlyQuest looking to overload the top side, but 100 Thieves, they've recognized the plan. They're defending this very well now. They recognize that FlyQuest wants to continue going after Sniper time and time and time again. It's still just the two mid laners left on the other side of the map. Important to note, Quid does have teleport. Quad is still missing his for a short period of time longer. I'm sure FlyQuest is aware of that and probably doesn't want to make any insane plays just yet until they know they won't be outmanned.
Also, very important to note, River is using the dog emote on the dog champ. You like to see that. He's all in, full mental. He's becoming the dog.
All in, all dog.
All dog. Only dog emotes. Play the dog. Let's see if he can you know, do anything though, because up until this point, it's just been farming, and it's just been really that one play, and then the lane assignments that have been better from FlyQuest. And as we said, every time there's an objective, they're just going to get their first setup. Next set of grubs is going to arrive in 30+ seconds at the moment. It's Bwipo, actually.
Yeah, Bwipo's hanging around for a long while here against Sniper. It looked like he was trying to bait him into something, but Eyla, this is not where he wanted to be. He goes on a magical journey straight to hell. Bwipo's the one sending him there. He did not want to punch that ticket.
Well, yeah, he was getting chased into hell by Busio and Inspired. They got the extra champion there because you see the 100 Thieves jungle River here is down getting the dragon on the opposite side of the map. So Eyla by himself had to go versus Busio and Inspired, and then the magical journey destination ends up right in the hands there of
pretty hot.
So another kill for FlyQuest, and even though they get the dragon on the opposite side of the map, that dragon was going to be the consolation prize anyway, since FlyQuest wanted the second pack of grubs, and they were setting up there early. So it's the rewards of getting there early, where it's like, oh, it was like 38 seconds before the grubs even spawned, and Busio and Inspired were already there, and they find themselves a bard. They might find themselves a bard again.
Oh, that Sejuani ulti over the wall, forcing the flash from Eyla. If that connects, Bwipo gets there in time to follow it up with a Ruthless Predator. Pretty much guaranteed kill. But FlyQuest with 6 grubs now. Let's talk about difference in grubs from the first game between this one, because I like the fact that in game number 1 it was a 6 grubs game for 100 Thieves. Now in game number 2, 6 grubs for FlyQuest. But grubs are a down payment objective, Kobe. You need to be able to get pressure onto turrets with them afterwards. Flash from Bwipo there to escape Eyla roaming up the top side yet again. And we saw that last game, 100 Thieves actually weren't able to ever get ahead in terms of turrets. Even after they got their first one, you know, FlyQuest was already ahead too. So they couldn't get much value. But with FlyQuest being in a lead in this game, already up 2,000 gold, they still have 2.5 more minutes to try to farm turret plates. I feel like these 6 grubs could be a lot more valuable.
Yeah, definitely agree.
I'm not gonna ult, I can just EW off you.
Yeah, jump by the
I'm out of where he can portal. I'm going. He will get stunned. He has flash.
Nice.
I think he's cooked.
Well played.
Nice, good.
Yeah. I'm
Pressuring
only
this guy.
Nafiri bot.
Yeah, but I have 3 cookie and then...
Yeah, they don't have
Yeah,
much.
that was cool. He threw the Sejuani stun and then goes through the journey, so then the stun ends up on the other side. You're always so used to like Bard turning around and binding you afterwards, but Sejuani got the last laugh on that journey.
And activating it in the portal too. Remember that Sejuani E, it's a projectile. So because Bard is moving as fast as a projectile, it only catches him at the very end. So the journey doesn't get to buffer the stun at all. Really nicely done.
Plus then, Bwipo's also waiting there with open arms.
Yeah.
Crocodile ready. So.
Open jaws.
Beautiful stuff so far from FlyQuest. As far as our grubs point too, it's not only is it value for FlyQuest, but it's big denial. Since 100 Thieves are a team that want to split push, you know, critical that you don't let them have the extra split push objective, basically. That would help them burn side towers down that much quicker. So looks pretty good so far. We'll keep track of, you know, Heartsteel stacks here for Inspired. It is mega nerfed now, so it's not, not nearly as impressive, but he's got that stacking. They've got the Rod of Ages build for the Viktor. Become very popular for a lot of mages now. You get more tanky. Yeah. Stack up, wait for your big level tick over once you fully complete your stacks, and it feels like it should be, a pretty comfy route here for FlyQuest. Now that they've got all of the grubs, they can start to turn their eyes towards the other side of the map, though, and look to start stacking dragons with their solid setup for their team fights.
The thing is about dragons, though, it is going to be a slow Drake game no matter what. The team that is behind in gold by a significant value has the only Drake claimed so far, and with only one Drake claimed as turret plates are about to fall, still 2 minutes until the second one spawns. Even if 100 Thieves somehow managed to full stack all the way, that's still not an early soul. So I feel like Drakes will probably be lower priority in this game compared to what they have been oftentimes in others. Still a very low kill game, though, overall. 2 kills and 14's all we got.
And the thing is, with FlyQuest, like we're saying, with them being you know, having a really good front to back here, their priority is on just get whatever the objective is. Even if it's going to take a while to start up dragons, you go there and you set up because it should be advantaged, especially since they have been doing a very good job of controlling the vision. You know, they've constantly caught the Bard. They've kept up full, you know, control wards, as they're getting cleared out now, through the river, and not really allowed a lot of 100 Thieves moves into their side of the map.
And I really like the fact that we've got the stride breaker on the Renekton this game from Bwipo. Renekton is one of those champions that has a few different options for the way that his build is going to go. And I think against something like Gnar that's always just trying to kite you out constantly, this item can give you that last little bit of an edge you need to land the combo and make it so you win those snappy trades more easily. As Inspired is ready to contest the blue buff, and contest he shall. Just smites that one down as Eyla lands the Tempered Fate there onto Busio and Massu. But again, the bullet time not paying huge dividends. Busio down to half HP, but Massu doesn't take a whole lot of punishment. FBI trying to get away now as Quad reinforces the FlyQuest bottom lane duo, and nobody's going to die either way, so double bot lane ultimates expended from 100 Thieves. Massu also using the Featherstorm there to be able to escape the bullet time after the Tempered Fate ends. And yeah, all right, and a nice attempt from 100 Thieves, but it doesn't go a whole lot of anywhere. Also, Realm Warp used there by Quid.
Yeah, and I guess, you know, they got Massu's ultimate down, so the Xayah like possibly could be a target, but he still has flash, so he's not feeling too scared or anything. And once Bwipo goes back and spends his money, okay, he does now. That Crocodile got to spend all of that big gold lead, and very tanky as well as very scary here with teleport ready. So should be FlyQuest, as we said, going to their objectives.
Theirs, exactly. It is by default presumed to belong to FlyQuest. 100 Thieves are the ones who have to try to challenge and rock the boat a little bit.
They do that.
Okay. Eyla and River, they're thinking about it a little bit. River's not particularly ahead on this Nafiri, though. Like, you know, 0-0 and 0 hasn't been able to get involved on anything. That's a problem with playing these more assassin carry-style junglers. You don't feel like you have the same efficacy in fights compared to somebody who just operates well on low econ like a Sejuani.
Look at Inspired. Oh.
Inspired, thinking.
Surprise pig.
Away there. Quad in some danger, though. Going to have to be a little bit careful here, scrapping with Quid, but Eyla's making it an unfair fight. The Viktor down to 300 HP, and there's no teleport ready to rejoin if he has to go back and heal. 100 Thieves are going to take the opportunity to start up the Drake.
Huge advantage there by attacking the side. They chunk Quad, they force him out, and Quad doesn't have teleport to get back.
But FlyQuest is not done. They're still looking to potentially contest this, as Quad is going to hang around and try to clear out the wave underneath the tier 1 turret. A nice engage coming out from Busio, finds it onto 3, but now he could be in danger as they haven't found any kills here just yet. Quid is going to die. Nice job from Bwipo. He's already found 2. He's looking for a 3rd. That hot dog's about to get munched, and Inspired's chowing down. FBI tries to escape, but it's 5 FlyQuest players on the hunt. They don't even need to land the grand entrance. FlyQuest just mopped the floor with them.
That's why we said that is a FlyQuest objective. 100 Thieves, you can tell the idea though. They thought because they got a good side attack there onto Quad and chunked out the Viktor, who did not have teleport to get back, that they then earned themselves some priority. But they did not. Sejuani plus Rakan engage, and the Renekton with the lead does teleport in. Renekton starts channeling teleport a little bit later, but doesn't matter because Rakan and Sejuani are able to lock them up and force the fight, even through the Bard delay. And so then they just get to chase them all down. Quad, didn't matter that he was kind of chunked out and off on the side. Just got to force them into the meat grinder.
Yeah, Bwipo's arrival was perfect, too. Just gets to destroy Quid right there. And Golden Glue's face is that of the entire 100 Thieves fandom. After their mid laner falls, Eyla again goes on a magical journey just to find Bwipo waiting there, knuckles in fists, ready for him. And FlyQuest now with control over the top side river. They're a 5,000 gold lead up over 100 Thieves. The Rift Herald has spawned. Quad is back down to the bottom lane and has his teleport ready to join the fight. Sniper down there handling Quad's pressure, but no teleport to join for the 100 Thieves top laner. So if 100 even tries to fight, they know they're staring down the barrel of one less man involved. As Eyla tries to get away, Busio jumps in there with a grand entrance. River still looking to contest here at the Herald itself. Bwipo dives in, going after Quid, followed up by Inspired. A ton of damage onto the 100 Thieves mid, but not enough to kill him. The Herald is going to be claimed by the Sejuani as Eyla finds a nice tempered fate, but they need to follow it up. Bwipo is very low, but he ain't going to be killed off yet. The Croc does not die. FlyQuest have found 2 more, and they're still looking for a 3rd. Inspired continues the chase after Eyla, but he can't quite catch the Bard. It does not matter. It's another 2 kills. It's another objective. It's another 1 fight for FlyQuest.
I think 100 Thieves should have just hard committed more to split pushing. They keep going into these fights versus FlyQuest, who want them and are happy to take them. And FlyQuest are not only going to get the kills, they're going to get the Rift Herald, so bye-bye towers.
Adios, Mr. Tower. It was nice knowing you. Inspired just knocks that one down easy peasy. Drives the Herald into the tier 3 just for that extra little bit of damage with more Void Mites. It does cost him his flash there, but hey, at this point in the game, when you're this far ahead, just hurt the turret, use the flash, do the mental damage.
Yeah, there you go. You don't need that flash anyway.
Yeah. You're getting in their heads. You flash straight into their brains, man, as Quad has to try to get away from River here. Flashes over the wall. His team's ready to back him up, and River, the Nafiri, just not doing what he needs it to do this game. Not enough of a lead, not enough of an advantage to be able to really put the damage threat down onto these carries that can result in anything. I mean, yeah, you can get Quad low, but he's going to be reinforced by his team. FlyQuest is playing so well in terms of their macro game.
Bwipo is feeling his strength at the moment.
Yeah, he has tactics.
He's doing some S keys at the moment. Anyways, here's another look at the Rift Herald. He was also feeling his strength here, and the Renekton Sejuani goes hard on Quid, and then when they disengage, Eyla doesn't look like he has much out of the Bard Tempered Fate. So Bwipo did get low, but nothing there to finish him off. And then, of course, the other side of the fight was just fully in their favor. So nicely done there for FlyQuest. Another victory. And this one seems to be a bit more one-sided, Flowers, from beginning to end.
Yeah, and you can see on your screen here, 100 Thieves and FlyQuest head-to-head since 2024. A brief walk through history. It's definitely FlyQuest favored, currently 9-3 going into this series. And it looks like FlyQuest is about to turn it into an 11-3 as they're looking to make this a fast 2-0 with the state of the second game. Another pick comes through, another death onto Eyla's Bard, and another kill in the pockets of Massu's Xayah. FlyQuest continuing to keep the pressure on the mid lane here as, the Nafiri just immediately destroyed as soon as he tries to jump in. Not even that W is getting you away from that one. As the tier 3 turret, remember earlier Inspired investing his flash to ram the Herald into that thing. It's barely hanging on with 10% HP.
Look at that purple hot dog on the ground.
That purple hot dog, somebody dropped that on the sidewalk and decided not even to pick it up.
Yeah,
that is biodegradable material.
There's pickles?
There's going to be all sorts of mess as people step on that throughout the day. That is just absolute littering. As FlyQuest has moved their way onto Otacon. Whenever you see an Otacon this early, it's always either disaster or damn, this is a stomp. And it's the second. It's the second one this time around, my friend, because FlyQuest, they're not going to be challenged at all. Every single challenge 100 Thieves has tried at these neutral objectives this game, FlyQuest has put their foot down and stopped it cold.
And I just really like and will continue to go back to that first play where they recalled their bottom lane. Quad here, though, has a revive and wants to go fight.
Okay, River and Sniper both still trying to get away as, Eyla does not manage to temper fate Bwipo, only himself. The Croc's gonna knock him down, easy peasy. Realm Warp from Quid arrives, but then you still gotta be a little bit careful about it as Bwipo tries to get away. Sterix Gauge to keep him a little bit higher HP. The false life finally procs. He nearly takes Quid with him. And right when it looks like 100 Thieves might finally be able to get a kill, get some kind of a punish, it's the Otacon earned by FlyQuest 22 minutes into the game that makes it so even those hopes and dreams are dashed as Massu solo takes down the next Drake of the game. Quad continues the solo push down here in the bottom lane, and they're able to do all these things individually because they are so far ahead, and 100 Thieves is torn in so many different directions that punishing these plays just feels impossible.
I would agree. It is impossible. I'm just going to go ahead and say,
right.
You know
We're
what?
on the same page.
It feels like it's impossible. And it also is.
Okay.
Because of the Otacon revival buff on every other member. You know, at best you can make them withdraw.
Yeah.
That's the best I can do, Flowers.
You can force out a false life, but not a real one. It's still an 11-0 game. 6 grubs to 0. 5 turrets to 0. 2 drakes to 1.
Damn.
That is the only thing that 100 Thieves have acquired so far this game. And I remember back when they acquired it, you said, well, that's the thing, FlyQuest just wanted to surrender anyway because they wanted the second grub set instead. So it's a tough look here for 100 Thieves in game number 2 as FlyQuest came in ready to go with this very traditional team composition, just playing it exactly as they wanted to play it, and 100 Thieves never being able to throw a wrench in the gears. Inspired doesn't want to commit a full Arctic Assault over the wall there to try to full send onto Quid. They don't have Bwipo up here just yet. Quad is still all the way on the other side of the map. Level 16 Viktor with his Unleashed Teleport ready to join the rest of the team. He's just going to keep that side pressure on in the meantime as FlyQuest continue looking for the last remaining tier 2 turret on the 100 Thieves side. Tempered Fate's going to lock him up here a little bit. Inspired's got to be careful. Isolated from the rest of the squad, down to about half HP. Flashes over the wall, ready to join up with the rest of FlyQuest. Bwipo is already godlike, grabbing the kill there onto Quid. Quad arrives in the middle of everybody. He's going to buy time here with the stasis. Sniper wanting to see if he can do anything about it, but no, FBI is going to get hunted down. The Chaos Storm ready to burn him away. FlyQuest, they'll take the tier 2, they'll force the fight, they'll get 2 kills, but now Quad's in danger. Slam back into the wall, but Busio's ready to reinforce. River trying to counterattack here with a Hound's Pursuit, and finally it's 100 Thieves on the board, but at what cost? Inspired jumps over the wall, forcing the flashback out from Eyla. 100 Thieves, 25 minutes into the game, finally get their first kill, but it costs them 3 more bodies and a tier 2 turret.
And a Baron.
And a Baron.
But we're on the board.
But they're on the board.
We got him. Yeah, FlyQuest's going to collect that Baron. I don't think there's even a possibility of any sort of heroics there from the 100 Thieves side, but yeah, FlyQuest here. What a start to this group, Flowers.
Yeah.
This matchup, I think, was the matchup most people were super excited for. In our game number 1, you know, 100 Thieves coming out with the early lead, but game number 2, it's just been all FlyQuest, so calculated. And Inspired here, he has 4 people on him. With this flash, he basically diverts all of the attention. They kill off the tower, and then the teleport in from Quad, and then the Zhonya's, and then the flash over. I love this look from a Viktor, Flowers. You know, This is an action hero Viktor.
This is Chad Viktor.
Yeah, this isn't a farm from the, you know, behind enemy lines. Well, he does get behind enemy lines, but they come in, they try and save him. They get an extra kill here in exchange as well in the aftermath. And the shutdown, at least it went over to the hot dog. So
yeah, there's something. The hot dog's got a little mustard now, but it's not enough. Trust me, that enemy team is hungry. And 100 Thieves has been nothing but a buffet this game as FlyQuest damage out to champions in the last team fight, man. The Bwipo dial is absolutely menacing this game.
And he's been so good from the beginning. Because of the chunks he was getting onto Sniper in lane was the whole reason they were able to make the start of that really good sequence of calls.
Wait. Oh, Bwipo's in a 1v2 down here from the bottom side. Let's see if he can take out River and Sniper on his lonesome. Turns it right back onto the hot dog. 100 Thieves are scattering. They're like, all right, dude, sorry. That's our bad. We need to get the hell out of here. Run away, Mr. Dog. Bwipo wanted to get the call to Meek there to get that last little bit of damage onto River, but he can't quite do it. So Bwipo fights off 2 of them fair and square. Meanwhile, the rest of the team forces down 2 inhibitors in top and mid. Bullet time used from FBI there to clear out the massive wave of super minions, try to prolong the game a little bit longer, as now Bwipo is ready to heal up, rejoin the rest of FlyQuest on the push. He doesn't have the dominance. I don't think he really needs it, Kobe. FlyQuest just waiting on a couple more minion waves. Tempered Fate ain't gonna get nothing as Eyla drops again. Massu ready to keep the push going forward. Double kill back over to Quad as the Chaos Storm gets larger and larger. Quid tries to escape. The Feather Storm's not gonna find the execution it looks for, but the first Nexus turret is already down. The second about to go as well. FlyQuest is low, but 100 Thieves can't stop him. Nexus open now. All 5 FlyQuest players still alive. Quad's damage with the lasers from range, still putting the pressure on 100 Thieves as Quid steps forward and finally grabs the shutdown back onto Massu, and FlyQuest are making their game-ending push here onto the fountain, onto the steps of 100 Thieves. It's 17-2. It's an absolute murder for FlyQuest. They'll start this stage off with a win.
FlyQuest getting some real revenge for split number 1 playoffs where 100 Thieves beat them. This time around, FlyQuest, leave no doubt, they are the stronger team here on this day.
Well played from FlyQuest, from the bounce back in game number 1 that started a little bit shaky, coming into game number 2, showing that they were doing that prep that Bwipo talked about, making sure everybody's playing their role and doing their job. Reminder to all y'all, during LTA North Split 2, you can win a trip to a League of Legends event or a set of Player of the Week statues. Use your MasterCard to make a purchase from the in-client store and save your card on file to be entered for a chance to win. And now with this first series all wrapped up with FlyQuest getting the 2-0, we're joining Kangas for an interview.